Welcome, everyone, to Stories Told Again. I am your humble dungeon master, Austin the Diabetic.
Golf, this isn't your show anymore. This is my show. Hi,
What?
I'm Jess, and I'm going to be your facilitator for today's bonus episode of Stories Told Again. Again, we're going to be doing a fun little Q&A session for you all. Before we get started, do we need everybody to introduce themselves again and who they're playing, or are we good to hop
How
into the
did you
meat
get
of
in
it?
here?
Yeah, we can do that.
Jess has been here the whole time.
The entire
I've
time.
been here the whole time, motherfuckers.
This is where we find out that Jess has been Craig secretly the entire time.
Jess is
fucking knew it.
achieved
And I've
personhood.
heard everything you've said about
Yeah.
me.
Shit. I
Yeah,
told
then
you.
you should love us because we say good things about you exclusively.
I'm still editing episodes where we're thanking Jess for editing, and I'm like, thank you, Jess, and then I delete the clip wherever I'm editing.
Yes, take the credit for yourself.
My beep.
Who want to go first? I'm talking. I'll go first.
This happens every time you do this, Tucky. You just gotta be quiet
Yeah.
until somebody else breaks.
There's
gotta
no
wait for that
victims, only
fucking 5
volunteers.
I can't do awkward silence. It makes me awkward. Hello. I am Took, or Took, I guess, or Tookles, or Tookie Wookie, or just Took. One of those will work. And I play
Tookalicious.
Loose. Tookalicious. I like that one. And I play
Cool.
Loose, or Lucerin, or Loose, or Lucy.
Or horror movie victim, or the small little guy, or, really any other name.
Just a little guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go next. I'm Rayne Eldridge. I play Vox Umbra.
Okay.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I thought you were. Yeah.
Okay,
All
very
right.
short. All right.
who I am, who I play. We're on.
I am Jeff Barry, and I play Pastiche.
My enemy.
How dare you?
Enemy. No, you almost made a. Oh, I can't say
You
that.
almost made out. What?
That's an episode or two away.
I'm Tiffany, and I play Liv.
I am Austin. I play your no nonsense and no context DM.
I really thought you were gonna say I play Paya and no one else.
That would have worked, honestly.
I play Paya and God, and that's it.
One and the same.
Yep.
Hey, spoilers.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Most of these questions are going to be coming from the Stories Told Again Discord server. If you're not already a member, you can find the link in the show notes to come and join us and hang out. So, to start us off, we did have two very similar questions, really asking about the world and the story development process. So, how much was fleshed out prior to the first table session? How much of the world, the characters and your characters, were from you, and how much came from our DM, Austin?
Do you want to start it out at least about the world part, Austin?
Yeah, totally. So when I was first developing this world, it was kind of based off of a couple different concepts that I had been playing with prior. Specifically in a game that I was playing with Tiffany. Slight spoiler for the next episode, but the players' next town they go to is going to be called Slime, and then the first town they were into is Hava, and the first town that they were in the previous campaign was literally just called Hava Slime.
You split them in two.
I did. I split them in two. But then it also kind of came from a place of I like to ask fundamental questions in the games that I have and sort of have that be able to function about as sort of the central question and thematic elements of the world itself. When it came to Veritora, the main question that I was asking was, what is it like to live in a world where the bad guy won centuries before you were born? What does it feel like to have every decision that felt like it necessarily mattered made before you were even a thought or a concept of existence? And I think that's why the Ariri Collective is so pervasive in everything and everywhere. Same thing with like the Octopus Order, like these very large systems that the players are a part of that kind of have the possibility of taking away agency, but at the same time, I feel like when it comes to my players and the way that they've been participating in this world, it's very much like I tell you guys to do something, and I mean this like with all love in the world, but like I tell you guys to do something and you just immediately tell me to fuck off. And it's one of my favorite things because already like 10 episodes in, we're already answering the question of you make choices that you can and you make them as often as possible. As for like NPCs and characters, I think I have introduced maybe, I'm doing math in my head, I think I've introduced 3 characters total that have like pretty significant like screen time that were not introduced or come up with by one of my players.
Wait, who are the 3? Paya? Golly.
Yeah. Nail?
The piece of shit. Robert.
And Nail.
Yeah.
And Nail.
Oh, never mind. Robert was part of someone else's.
Oh,
okay.
No, Robert wasn't. No. Yeah, so it would be like 4.
And then the bartender.
In fairness, I killed that guy. We're fine.
Yeah,
sure.
of course
And
you
then there's
did.
the bartender.
Yeah, Luce, say nothing. Oh, yeah.
Bartender.
Just to bounce on that question on your response, Austin, I think it is really funny that the only character who has not like grown up as a character in any of these like particular systems is Pastiche. Only Pastiche knows the bliss of not growing up under capitalism, and that's deeply funny to me, and it explains why Pastiche is the way that they are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had to explain Pastiche to somebody a little while ago, like in like a Word document for like a business thing, and one of the things that I put was Pastiche is much more worldly than Liv, but the world that they know a lot about is the Feywild.
Completely different. It's an alien landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and actually going off of like the world building and stuff like that, I think that Austin and I with the Feywild kind of did that hand in hand, trying to come up with like how it feels and whatnot. There were a couple of the different like troops or troop members and stuff, like Golly, and then like all of the other people, like Jory, who I Pastiche ended up poisoning or giving Epicac and stuff. Those aren't really the biggest player in that I helped create was Josta, and that's because Josta is basically like Pastiche's mother and is basically the only person that Josta remembers the whole time that they have been in the summer court.
No, for Luce, it was just nightmare fuel. That's pretty much Damn near every NPC is that me also came up with for Luce's backstory is just fucking horror movie show. Even his mom is
chilling
very
though,
fucking scary.
right? No.
Well, I'll say like when he's introduced in the show, he was very very chill, wizard, super smart. But beforehand, when Luce was still a kid, he was fucking out of pocket. He was like, I don't care how many people is in the room, I'm casting fireball. That was him.
He does have that energy.
He does really feel like a wizard on vacation. Like in the very beginning, he's very much just like, I'm just here to like hang out on the beach and drink mojitos and take care of my kid.
He's retired.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
He's in retirement.
He's very much somebody, the way that like I have kind of looked at him, and I think this is something that like Took and I have talked about pretty extensively, is that like there was this big event that happened that completely altered all 3 of the people that remained. We kind of get that in the dream. When it comes to how we talk about Carp, it's very much in the lens of like, what do you do when everything that you value has been taken away? And what do you do in order to keep it? And for him, it's literally just sort of like staying the fuck away and being as much of like a like good parent that he can be to keep other people safe. Like he's an abjuration wizard. That's his whole thing.
Got two others.
Do you want to go?
Oh yeah, sorry. We got caught up in the question. My ADHD just like dissipated out of the room. In terms of like character stuff, I mean, I talked with Austin in terms of like our between world building and character stuff, and the only stuff I really talked with Austin about was like Vox specific, was where Vox grew up and why Vox is the way that they are, their relationship to their sibling, and the scrapyard and serve. And beyond that, I kind of like everything else around that. I think I gave like a handful of NPCs that had names because I wanted to create distance between Vox and the world as almost an intentional wall of like, Vox is waiting for one particular part of their life to move forward. Until that happens, then they are just going to sit here and sit in the scrapyard forever. And then the plot happens. Now they can't do that, which explains why Vox is the way that they are in the upcoming episodes, without spoiling anything. But beyond that, I kind of kept things really simple. Also, actually, now realizing, Jeff, what you said about Josta being Pass's like mother figure. Now I am fearful for all other father figures because Serv's dead. And I'm worried Austin's just going to come for all of our potential dads.
All right, I don't got no dads.
No, well, as the stepdad of the group, that concerns
Yeah.
me.
Oh, that's you. Oh.
Well, don't worry. You are your own worst enemy. You've knocked yourself out
He's
more than
already
us.
tried to kill. That's true. That's true.
I'm sorry, I tried to kill you?
Like, you know,
You have. It's a fact. You have killed Rayne twice.
Rayne,
Oh, that's true.
Precipitation, Eldridge, how many times have you nearly killed Vox?
a couple times, and I will continue to do so because Vox is real dumb and all of their magic is explosives based.
That's fair.
Oh yeah.
But that was my main focus. I wanted to basically create like a little shelled off baby that could like hatch into wherever the world was and then engage with the story as it moved forward. So that was my idea of how to like bring Vox in. And then on top of that, all of just the sad cowboy energy.
I do gotta say that like sometimes when I'm thinking of like your characters, I like to imagine them as if like, is there a movie that reminds me of like what the character's doing? For Vox, sometimes it's Rapunzel in the movie Tangled.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Wait, that's yeah.
Now you have to do everyone though.
Yeah, what are the movies?
Okay, Lewis, it could be literally any horror movie.
Poltergeist. I feel Poltergeist.
With a good ending, with a bad ending.
Blair Witch.
Ash from
Evil
Evil
Dead?
Dead.
That would be
Yeah.
good. Evil Dead. Yeah.
Dead.
I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I just need a chainsaw arm.
We'll get there.
Liv, I've been saying this from the very beginning. It's not even a movie, it's Naruto.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's being fundamentally different from the magic of everyone else in a society and therefore being shunned by it while also like existing within it and not really having the power to leave. It's Naruto. That's literally it. It's just fucking
And
Naruto.
also just the simple beanness of Liv. It's Naruto Uzumaki in the
One
head.
track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naruto has to have some movies statistically.
Oh, it has like 7 or 8.
There's too many. It doesn't matter.
In Pastiche specifically, it's not even like a movie. It's specifically like it is every character from Midsummer Night's Dream at once.
Hey, Midsummer Night's Dream, I believe, is a movie that was made in the 60s.
Yeah, I know there is a movie version with Stanley Tucci. I saw it at the last bookstore in LA last time I was there.
Pastiche's dream role is a Midsummer's Night Dream. Not any of them, just all the parts at once. A true one-man show.
I would
Oh, yeah.
love that.
Pastiche just makes themselves like a bunch of simulacrum.
I thought you were gonna just like shape shift into every character and have just a bunch of like magic mouths to talk out your lines from previous.
Mine.
That's so fun.
Oh, that actually reminds me of one more thing.
Well, it's
Sorry.
funny
Changeling lore for this world is wild and completely homebrewed. So
Yeah. I would say not to spoil the reveal, but like outside of some requests that Jeff sent me about like what the changeling like shifting sounds like. I have a collection that I have just little marked up as pastiche specific sounds when we get to like the big reveal to explain why I use these sounds in particular, and I'm very excited for the reveal of it. It's so cool.
It is really fantastic. Like there's a rule in improv of like giving your scene partner a gift, and like that amount of like world building specifically for like the Feywild, even outside of like being part of that world, is such a gift.
Now to Tiffany. Sorry.
Can I don't know if you have to edit this out, but for level 1 live, we didn't do too much planning in advance. We only had the idea of like I had gone to Austin with Casper because I think it's compelling to explore character via other characters. And so I had given just personality and they're from hell and that's it, basically. And they suck at being a demon. That's it. I had come up with quite a bit of background about the Order of Optimus and their religion and what they believe. And there are a few familial relations out there for Liv that have yet to come into the story yet that I also introduced, but only on like a very basic level. Like I only give you can cut this if you don't want to spoil things, but for Liv's brothers, I had Lafayette and Leviticus because Austin had jokingly said it would be funny if you had 2 other siblings and you guys were Live, Laugh, and Love.
I hate you. I can't edit this out now.
That is hilarious. That's so good.
Yeah, so
Perfect.
I was just like, I gave Lafayette's personality and I gave Leviticus's personality, and that's it. And so whatever Austin is going to do with them is going to be entirely up to Austin's discretion. So how much of it is planned is like a sizable chunk, but I think for the most part it's been sort of a back and forth in the moment.
I will say that when it comes to like Liv's world building, it was one of the most like I would say chaotic. Like the fact that Liv was part of an underwater city was something that Tiffany told me about, I think, an hour before recording the pilot.
Yeah, it's because you asked me where is this located, and I went, I don't fucking know. And I think you had given me like a few suggestions, and I went, sure, let's go with underwater. Why not? It's turtles and water, I guess.
Yeah.
The giant turtle reveal is like one of my favorite things. Of also just because like Liv is just like it's on the back of a giant turtle, and Pastiche's first response is, "But turtles are slow." It's like not this one. We have to leave. It's like it's oh god, it's so funny.
I mean, it's in water, so it can like swim pretty fast.
Says you.
As a Terry Pratchett fan, I was excited for Turtles.
Nice.
Well,
Me
Hell yeah.
too.
For all of our players here, are these all classes and things that you have played before, or is there anything new or familiar about your characters you've chosen to play for Stories Told Again?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, no. I've only played one other game of D&D, and it was a bard, so this is very different.
I mean, at least you're still doing charisma class.
Yeah.
I had to learn what an attack roll was.
Oh,
so-
jeez.
Wow.
No, listen, I have a little chart.
we had a crash course one day.
Oh, I love it.
That tells me how it works.
I've never played an artificer before. My go-to classes are the like martial specific fighters or warlocks, but I feel like I've played enough just as a DM in that regard, building characters, so I generally know how they work. But I'm actively playing Vox as dumb as possible to make the artificer a little more challenging in terms of how all the magic works, because artificer specifically, their whole thing is casting spells through tools and not inertly. So I'm like, okay, how can I get creative with my spell casting?
I don't think I've ever played a cleric before. I'm usually like the barbarian or like tank, so this is like very weird for me. And on top of that, Luce isn't like abrasive, so like now am I playing the healer? But I have to remember that I have to heal people and
You don't
not
have
smack
to.
and whack. I mean, yeah.
Clerics don't
but, like,
have to heal.
I wrote it into the backstory. No,
I can think of some very famous clerics who are famous for not healing people, so it's
in the
fine.
first round of like me making his character sheet, Luce would be able to smack somebody with a hammer and shatter their upper body from their lower. But then I was like, let's change that. So now we have the Luce we have today, and I don't regret it.
So when I first started playing D&D, I would go with Rangers most of the time. But then I really fell in love with Bards. So Bards have been my go-to class a lot of the time. Pastiche is a rogue, but I've never really played a warlock or a rogue before, other than like NPCs that I've made, and I have a lot more DMing experience than I have player experience. But it is a little bit of a hack. As you can tell, Pastiche is pretty bard-like for being a rogue. I guess above table and just kind of like the min-maxy part of it. I wanted to make a bard without making a bard, so the multi-class is rogue swashbuckler with a hexblade warlock. So basically a College of Swords bard type of thing with sneak attack.
You were like, I would like to play a bard, but I would like to do it in hard mode.
Yes, basically.
Every single one of you at some point has used the word hard mode during your character creation. I just want to put that out there.
We all took really big swings when we came up with characters for this.
I banned magic for myself.
I'm so proud of you guys.
Except for Divine Smite.
I played the complete opposite of what I normally do. So
That actually kind of segues into a question I had down for later. Outside of Tiffany, who's only played one other character, I know we have several people here who have played a lot, who also DM. Has doing the podcast changed any of the ways that you play outside of the podcast or how you DM other games?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For sure for me. I normally play like rough and abrasive, like get out of my face, don't fucking talk to me. And because of Luce, because I've had to be into the mindset of it's okay, don't worry, that I didn't realize like during games I started introducing NPCs that were like, don't hurt me, all right, that's not okay, like characters like that.
That makes me so happy.
I realized it the other day and I went, shit.
You've been infected.
Introduce you to the concept of the soft boy.
Oh yeah, so now I have a whole bunch of soft boy and like sweet beans just like everywhere.
Nice.
In my fucking world now.
That's really funny because I have had the opposite corruption from playing Vox, where now I am like introducing new NPCs or like even voicing characters that I've normally voiced who I just haven't voiced in a while, and then I'm coming in with a little bit of a southern accent to them. All of my characters sound more like Vox every time I play, so I'm like, it's like we record and then I have my home game like, all right y'all, and I'm like, well, that's not that was British last time you spoke to him.
Pip and Cheerio.
Yeah, exactly. It's ruined me. It's been a detriment, actually.
For me, I actually gonna be honest, this is really the only game that I've been playing recently is with y'all. So I haven't really ran anything else since we've started. So can't really say that it's changed anything about like my GMing style, I would say, because I haven't really been GMing. So yeah. What about you, Austin?
I don't really know. I mean, like I do think I'm making a little bit bigger swings when it comes to like the NPCs that I'm introducing and like the voices that I've been doing, trying to keep things a little bit more in terms of like a tighter story structure. But I don't know if that's actually worked. And there's only one person here that's actually in a game that I am DMing outside of this. So Tiffany, how am I doing as a DM outside of this?
Okay, I do think that you are tightening up stories. You're not letting us futz around as much, and you're more like, "Oh, currently, what is happening? We finished talking to the big guy who we thought was the enemy, and I think you introduced a lot more like intriguing story moments for each of our characters, like little reveals that are like pushing the story faster, because last time we had like waited for a wedding and went to a concert and got barbecue, things like that. So I think you're definitely like pushing the overall narrative a little more.
Yay.
I will say that I've noticed playing with a bunch of GMs and DMs at the table more, because that is a different experience for me. Is playing with a bunch of people that have like game running experience is a different feel, like just being a player, though, like seeing like, oh, we're gonna tee this up or whatnot. That happens a good amount of the time, I feel like.
Well, I guess I'm normal though.
Well, I was gonna say, it's like I feel like there's a lot of like between like the DM square that I'm looking at. It's very much like we try to like create so much space for little scenes, and then Liv comes in with a hammer and is just like, no, the plot must move, and it's
Whoops.
I don't know. I feel like that's still like new player, just like I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want because I refuse to learn the rules of the world, or because the rules of the world are what I make them. Let me rephrase. And it's so fun. It's also just like, I don't know. It ties back into like me choosing to play Vox as a very practical character. I get to look at that. I get to see like the rampaging rhinoceros that is like live in pastiche at any point, and I'm like, huh. Well, I'm gonna have to deal with that later, but not right now.
Hey, it's not your problem. You're not the DM. Austin will have to deal with it.
I'm fine. I'll deal with that. I'm good out here.
Austin's doing a
I will
1,000-yard stare right now while he said that.
Introducing the game to people who either have no idea what Dungeons and Dragons is, or don't even have like a grasp of like the tropes or the fantasy elements of it, is one of my favorite things to do. Like introducing new players and seeing what they decide this game is. Like last year, somebody in my home game started playing with Tiffany and I, and they were from Nigeria, I think, and they had like an entirely different idea of how stories and like that structure works, about like what they find engaging or what they find fascinating, and it completely altered my play style for like the time that they were with us, and it was absolutely insane.
That's awesome.
The power of diversity.
Diversity win.
Let's hop over it. It's kind of a basic question, but I feel like it needs to be asked. Who's everybody's favorite NPC that the audience has met so far?
Oh,
I'm just gonna golly.
Fucking King Candy's your favorite?
fuck golly.
King Candy's your favorite?
Okay. So he's my favorite because of how Austin introduced him. So like when we were just kind of moving through, I was like very objective. We gotta get to the stone. We need to figure out what's going on. So we taught him all of like the one time, and then he went, "Ho ho! I'm the villain the whole time," and I was like, "Fucking excuse me!"
And immediately, as soon as I heard that, I was like, Pastiche hates golly.
Yeah. So like. It's the fact that we all like switched and immediately was like, we have to kill this fucking clown, and it's so fucking funny that like it's such a staple in my memory. I fucking love Golly. Hate him though, but hate to love him.
I'm so glad.
I think Carp's my favorite. Carp, he's like the perfect NPC. He's helpful where you need him. He like is like a supporting character to Luce's story. And when the one time we all interacted with him, he was immediately like, okay, I'm gonna just step over the fact that Liv's first response was, I didn't steal anything from you, upon meeting him, and him being like, That's fine. Like just like a helpful, perfect like DMPC. I'm like, this is my boy. I love him.
We are not thieves.
I mean, neither of us. Exactly.
We are not thieves. For me, I really Nail. I think that Nail is really cool. And just like we're so far ahead in recording, so more about Nail is revealed, and like it just makes him even cooler. But even with the stuff that is released, like I like when you interact with something that is bigger than you a lot of the time, and then trying to humanize them in a way. Or just having a god eat a fucking cookie is great. I love that. Yeah. It reminds me of Bill and Ted's not Excellent Adventure, the second one.
Bogus Journey.
Yes, where they befriend death and like escape the underworld or escape hell or afterlife by beating him at like board games. So it's just that kind of feel to me, and I love him because of that.
Okay. I have a favorite person, but only by a narrow margin. The other one is Serve, and I think I don't need to explain why Serve is great. But my favorite NPC so far has been Robert, because you made him so hateable instantly in like the first. What was the first thing you said in Vox? It was like, are you
Oh my God.
you Harlan or something like that?
He goes, "Hi, Harlan.
You must be Harlan or something like that." Yeah.
I literally told Rayne ahead of time, like, hey, just so you know, I have a character that I'm introducing. You're gonna hate him in 5 words. And I think you took it out, but like, I remember you actively groaning the moment that I finished his first sentence, and I was like, yes, hell yeah.
Yeah, that was excellent. And the more Robert talked about, yes, this surveyor unit, we are here to retrieve it. Oh, it's destroyed. We need the parts.
Oh, and just seeing everybody react
and then
to
the
that.
Terminator rise out of the giant explosion was just crazy.
Horror.
Yeah, very
movie.
strong.
He will return. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, it's a chance to kill him.
To that point, like there was on a call with Austin, we were talking about like, I can't remember how we brought it up, and Austin wouldn't give me any more details. Was basically just like, what would you do? Like, what would you do if an NPC called Serve an it? And I went, I'd probably burn their house to the ground, which translated to be, I blew up my own house.
Yeah.
I kind of have 2 answers, if that's okay. As like a DM and as a storyteller. As a DM, my favorite character, I'm pretty sure, is very obvious that it's Paya.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the ability to make something so nonsensical in this world and have everyone like immediately be like, okay, yeah, this exists. And also like it gives me a lot of things that I can do to create like homebrew magic items that I'm really excited for everyone to see like later on. But as a storyteller, I think I'm the most proud of Carp. I think that's the one that I'm like, this is something I put a lot of work behind the scenes when it came to Carp. Took and I worked for like literally I think like 3 hours like one day, just going through and being like, what's Carp's whole deal? Like, how does this work? As well as like trying to be as accurate and sensitive as possible with the concept of somebody with a limb difference. Actually, shout out I'd like to give that we haven't really talked about. The people at the Vascular Anomaly Center at Boston Children's Hospital have been in contact with me regarding representation of people with limb differences, and they have been such an amazing resource when it comes to accessibility concepts and also like how to tell the character story effectively in a way that is good representation. And I hope to do that with like a lot more characters in our game. But yeah, I'm really proud of Carp, and it's been really fun.
Is that everybody?
Jess, who's your
What
favorite
about
NPC?
you, Jess?
Yeah, you get to answer.
Yeah, you're a part of the show.
Come on, facilitator.
Well, my deep Appalachian roots have big fondness for pie and that little
Great.
possum there.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Listen, it's basic, but What was the inspiration for Pie? What made you go, that's going to be the thing?
There's a couple of different things. One of them was just like, I need to make something that felt as ridiculous and nonsensical as possible. I needed something where I knew the players are going to be in a fight that would be basically unwinnable at level 1 unless I like gave them a little bit of a power boost, which is why I gave them the Paya items, as well as like making things a little bit more unpredictable and a little bit more interesting. And I think I just kind of wanted something that the whole concept of the show, I think a lot of it is based in mystery. I wanted to make something that at the very beginning would introduce a million questions, but it would be fun to not answer any for the audience and the players alike.
Paya's the embodiment of your contextless intros.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Paya is unintentional tornado wrangler. She is the sponsored by soft drink here. She is all of.
Well, you mentioned the intros. How are you all coming up with the ideas for the different intros that we've had so far? They've all been wonderful and very fun. Everyone's enjoyed them, but...
Thank you.
I feel like all of us have a little touch of madness, because every time I hear about the intros, and every time the intros come to me to edit in, I'm always like, what are we doing? Where are we? But like, they're always really fun.
I mean, I think that's just being a creative.
Yeah.
It is just like you have like 1,000 ideas and they just come up into your head. And then you're like, oh, that would be cool. Can we make that a thing? And then we're able to make it a thing.
I remember for at least the early episodes that are already out, all the intros, like the majority of them, I think came from Austin. Like Austin gave a bunch of list of, hey, here's a list of like recap ideas. And then we would just pick our like favorite ones. And then once those ideas get just put out there, we like assign people who's going to be voicing what in which recap. And I think depending on who's voicing it, I think we've like written the copies for them. Like all of us have, I think.
Yeah.
I think the only one we switched out last second was the Orrery Collective Arcane Intelligence. Yeah. Because the original one for that, after like the first few episodes came out, we had an idea that it was going to be like kind of like a jokey thing at like Serve's expense. Looking at it, I was like, I don't know. I as Vox was like, I don't know how I feel about that. So I quickly wrote up a slightly different thing and I sent it to Austin for approval. And Austin was like, thumbs up, it's good. And I'm like, great. I shipped that one out really quickly. But outside of that, I think all of them have been like Austin came up with originally, or what Cast has brainstormed together at different points.
Yeah, I think we came up with like 5 of them collectively, and then the rest of them were like people just coming to me and being like, I have an idea, and then we did it.
And all of us have written different copies. I think that most of them have either been Austin or Tiffany that have written the copies for, though.
I've only written the ones that I've done, I think. I've edited, though.
To give like crazy credit to Tiffany, Tiffany is great at script writing.
Thank you.
Oh my god, yeah.
Am I? I don't know
Made
about that.
It super easy for me to read.
The crabs are really good.
Oh, that was all
Tiffany.
Tiffany was the crabs. Tiffany was the commercial.
The travel commercial, yeah.
Not just the travel commercial, but you also did the commercial for the paint chucker.
Oh wait, I forgot about that. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that.
One, yeah.
And I wrote the first one.
Paint Blaster 3000.
Pile praise.
Yes.
Pile praise.
I like most of that is Tiffany. Tiffany and Austin have done that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, it didn't feel like I did anything. So okay, great.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, I've done a few. That have been
the
really
next
nice.
one for episode 11 will be crazy.
Although actually the demon egg summoning one was the only one I think we didn't have a script for, because Austin wrote a script for himself, and then he just sent me the audio without anything, so I just filled in the blanks of what I thought a demon would say in that moment, and then I sent it to Tiffany to do all the mastering. And demon I think I had in the episode there was just a little label script that said for demonization.
That was funny.
Yeah, I actually feel bad about that because I did actually write out everything in a script and I just never sent it to you.
It's fine. We improv'd it. It worked out.
It worked out great.
To keep going down the logistical side of the show, when you all are recording, how many episodes do you normally get out of a recording session? And how long are those?
Ooh, an easy question.
It depends.
We always shoot for 2.
Shoot for 2.
Yeah, it varies. It really depends on like how we're feeling. We're good at getting 2 most of the time, but there are quite a few times as well that we get only 1, and that's completely fine because if we don't feel like we're rushing, we're making good stuff. So we want to make sure that at least an episode is going to be cohesive, that there is a beginning and an end. We never know what's going to be in between per se, but like that beginning and the end is what we want to make sure can happen. And we don't know how that end is going to be ever, but we just want to make sure that it makes sense.
Something that I say pretty often is friend first, DM second, showrunner third. So one of the things that I really, really appreciate about like the cast and crew for all this is that nothing ever, at least from like what I've been able to see, nothing ever feels forced in terms of like game time. Like there have been times where we've just had to call out. So like on those days when we're doing like just a single episode, I really like that we're able to do that, just because it's sort of like to me it feels more authentic. It is a lot less of us like we are creating a show, we are creating a product, we are creating a thing that we're putting out into the world, and it becomes much more of like we are just some friends telling a story and other people get to come along with it. I like that it gets reflected in the production as well as like the show itself.
In regards to the production, about how much do you think is edited out from what is recorded?
Well, me question. Honestly, in terms of actual anything that is related to anything that is in scene stays in episode. I rarely cut any parts where like people are like where in characters are talking. Mostly it's like cutting down space between like long spaces in between to make room for latency if things are slightly out of sync, or like making sure things stay in sync and there's not too much space in between folks talking. But in terms of a percentage, maybe like 10% of the episode.
I will say Rayne is a master of making me sound coherent.
And me, I would say as well. I don't feel like I'm as coherent as it ends up coming out.
It's interesting. I'm not gonna agree or disagree to either of those.
I love you too.
But like, because I cut out a lot of like ums and ahs, and like I do it from my audio a ton too, and I think I do it from my audio the least because I feel like at this point I've just decided that Vox is a little bit of a rambler because I'm a little bit of a rambler. In terms of touching audio for the cast, I don't touch anything that is not. The only things I touch are when they are like additional words, like a or if they repeat the word an additional time. My favorite thing is like when I just stop editing for a while and I'm just listening to the episode because Pastiche or Live or Loose or Austin just locks in, and that's that flow state hits, and it's just like, oh, I don't have to touch anything. I have like 3 minutes. I have like a whole 3 minutes of peace where I just have to maybe cut off a silence or something.
Have there been any bloopers or goofs that hit the cuddle room floor that you all were sad to see go, or any chance for a blooper reel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a chunk of things that I have either saved, and there's a couple of stuff that I have just like, this is really funny, but I have no idea where it could fit in, and I have like cut it. But I have all of it, and if people want me to go back in and find it, I will. I have a list of like cliptacular, just funny things that have been said in episode, and some funny things that have said outside of episode. The only issue is that the outside of episode, we go on for a while. It's like, I think there's one thing that the cast is laughing at that is specifically like, I looked at it and like after I cut a big chunk of it out, and it's like 5 full minutes.
Wow.
No, we go on about erotica for a long time. One of those episodes.
I know too much about these people.
Oh yeah.
It's Jeff's fault. Jeff's always funny in the chat, and I have to be like, I have to cut this now because we're fucking laughing at you.
I am notorious for just putting in like little blurbs. I'll be quiet on mic, but I am like typing up a little storm of like just random shit in chat, and then looking at everybody's reactions when they actually look at it.
One of my favorite moments is like the I think I left in for the episode specifically is that there is a moment where I think Jeff it goes like, I'm just saying in the chat, make the ocean gone, in regards to the fucking birthday candle. I'm like, it's too funny, it has to stay in. I'm sorry, everyone.
I love that birthday candle.
Okay, I just have to ask, do we want to bring up episode 9 at all?
We can.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I have a really funny Jess thing about that because I messaged Jess in the episode being like, hey, just so you know, we TPK'd, so like I don't know how this is going to be edited or whatever, we're gonna figure it out. And Jess was like, oh my god, what happened? And I like explained the whole thing, and I think Jess said something akin to like, you cowards, like let the dice tell the story. And I was like, Jess, we're making a show.
Oh my god.
Yeah, my bad, guys.
Some context there. I edited a couple of the very early episodes before it went on to the True Master to handle everything else.
Yeah, Tiffany.
No, it's you. What are you talking about?
Tiffany's always been the hero of
I don't
audio.
do anything. I don't know what you guys keep saying.
You do a whole bunch of dope shit, Chuck.
Let us give you your praise
Yes,
and your
take them.
flowers, okay?
Oh no, oh no, Tiffany's disappeared. Oh, all the flowers. Oh, she's not able to breathe. We need to stop.
Actually, this is a funny segue. Tiffany, do you want to explain how we TPK'd?
Yeah, Tiffany, do you want to explain how we TPK'd?
Oh no. So Austin had said beforehand not to fight the crabs, and I thought, okay, well, I'm not gonna fight them, but I want to grab something near them. It'll be quick. It'll be fine. And then I rolled really badly, and then I died instantly. And then someone else came in to try and help, and they died instantly.
Yeah, who's died next? Yeah.
And then I think it just kind of continued from there.
Yep.
Whoops.
Yeah, I think it was like we watched Golly get mauled by crabs, and Liv's first thought was like, well, I mean, we need the rock on his body. I'm just gonna grab that really quick, and then got mauled by all the additional crabs that were there.
Plate armor.
Surely.
I think it was Luce who was like, okay, well, as the cleric, I need to stop you from making death saves, so I'll go get you, and then sprinted up and then immediately got mauled by crabs. And like and Pastiche are sitting there like looking on the other side of the fence with our guns out like, what Austin's the show over?
It's a little less exciting than erotica, but something that does seem to come up quite often, specifically in the Discord, is soup.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up right now.
Yeah.
We're not doing this. We are not doing this.
Soup, Austin.
How dare you?
I'm gonna tell
Your
them.
lore keeper. This lore should have been fucking kept.
You know what? I might even just tell them about the little thing that we have going on, Austin.
Oh, you're gonna tell them about soup mode? You're telling them about soup mode? Okay, that's fine. Tell them about soup mode.
Soupgate. Oh my god.
So.
Oh, this is suddenly redacted for whatever reason.
Austin,
It's just static.
My camera's off because I'm seething right now.
Austin, luckily.
I do hate your cameras off.
Austin is. I'm the safest to actually like bring this up because I live on the other side of the country, and.
I'm gonna be in Seattle next week, motherfucker. How dare you?
It's still 4 hours away.
I'll find you.
And you don't know where I work.
Say your electricity's broken, you'll lure Jeff right to you.
I smell a burnt outlet.
That's fucking fire.
Austin, somehow it got brought up that Austin has never, ever had soup in his life, which is baffling.
Of any kind.
Even as a fucking
So
child.
fucking wild.
As a fucking child, he hasn't had soup. We're like, have you ever been sick?
You live in New England.
So
This is crazy.
and Carrie just heard this, and I just heard her go, "What?" So he's never had soup in his life, and we drilled down hard, make sure that this was correct. And yeah, he said that he hasn't even had broth or ramen or udon, like none. So Austin has made a deal with us that once we get to 10,000 listens, he is going to have soup. So, audience, help us get to 10,000 so we can make Austin eat soup, because he is missing something.
We have to.
We need a Right and Injustice solely for us.
Yeah. This is unacceptable.
He's hurting us
Austin,
by
my
hurting himself.
ancestors are looking down and hating your existence right now. This is unacceptable. You have to have soup.
I mean, there's other things we'll do at 10,000. We're like talking about getting a Patreon.
No, soup's
No,
the
it's
only
soup.
one.
Soup
No,
is
no,
the
that
most
doesn't
important
matter.
thing.
Fuck the Patreon. It's about
That's
soup.
the true stretch goal.
I need to get paid for this. I need you to pay for some soup.
Get a can of sick Campbell's. That's what we want.
I was about to say, I'm even cool with Progresso.
Yeah.
Like, we just got something.
Standard.
A can of
We
soup
need to give-
follows me around like it follows.
You know what? This motherfucker at one time trolled us where he had a bowl and a spoon and was just ladling Diet Coke into his mouth with a spoon. I clocked it immediately. I was like, Austin, is that soup? I bet that's not soup.
Diabolical.
No.
You are a sick man.
Fuck you.
That was like
Talked
a
about it for
month in
like
the
10
making.
fucking minutes on that fucking recording. We were like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And he started drinking it straight out the bowl. Like
Yeah.
a fucking
Yes.
savage.
So 10,000, and we get you like a soup sample set. We'll have like
stream it.
5 different.
You're gonna
soups.
have a flight of
Give
soup.
me a soup flight.
A flight of soups. All of us get to pick one, right?
Yes.
I think
I
that's
already
fair.
know
That's going to be a poll.
I draw
Yeah.
the line at clam chowder.
Yeah,
That's
fuck
fair.
That. No,
Oh.
we're good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's gross.
What?
Oh.
I'm not even from the East Coast. I'm not even from the
kinda
East
gross.
Coast, and I'm the only one that's like, yeah, clam chowder.
And I'm from the West Coast. Gross.
I grew up on the Cape. I can't deal with it. I'm also allergic to shellfish, so I have an actual reason.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I also grew up on
it's so
the Cape.
good.
It's the same.
And yet no clam chowder.
I'm a coastal person too, just a different
A
coast,
different
guys.
chowder.
Maybe your coast has better clams. I don't know.
I mean, clam digging is like a huge thing here in Portland. Like people go and do it every single time. Stop making those faces, Jess. Clams are good. Like it's actually like it's funny because like fish and seafood shellfish are the only meat that I eat, and I can't get enough of it. Just give me the shrimp, give me the sea bugs, give me the sea tongues.
Austin,
I
if
will
Fox
eat it
dies, can I come back as like a warforged that's just a clam in an artificer suit?
That's
all.
so
Call you
fun.
Cloister.
Absolutely.
See, this is where I come up with characters. This is where my world building comes in, is that I just like hear things that these people say, and I'm like, that'd be funny. I want to be that.
By the way, something that I don't think we've ever talked about, but like your characters, I feel like all of you want your characters to die a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
Maybe.
Legit made a death cleric.
If it would make the story better, murder me right now.
Everyone looked so thoughtful at that question.
If it has narrative weight, do it.
but like each of you have come to me at like different points and been like, so if so and so dies, can I do this? And I'm like, yeah, but please don't. And it's like they're like, you guys are waiting to die, and I'm like, I like these characters too much.
It's a tabletop RPG. We could die at any point in fucking time in this goddamn story.
Yeah, we're not playing Morkborg.
We're gonna go through and do a couple of individual character questions real fast. So we'll start with Rayne. If there was 100% guaranteed way to bring Serve back, could Vox be tempted or bribed to maybe do something unsavory, betray the party,
100%.
or anything like that?
I'd kill Pastiche.
I'd like to see you try.
Specifically Pastiche.
Those are two separate statements.
I'm totally kidding.
That was so fast.
To be fair, Pastiche deserves it.
No, I love Pastiche, and I love playing with Jeff. It's just really funny to say, because I feel like, Jeff, you have the best expressions when this kind of shit happens. It's just, hey, what?
Yeah, hey, get my name out of your mouth.
We could have asked Vox's favorite color, and it would have been the same answer.
Yeah, I would kill Pastiche.
Yeah, Vox, to the degree, like I teased it a little bit with like Vox working with Ollie, who like I pitched Ollie as the only characterization I think I gave to Ollie. I think the exact words were like, he's a thief, but not a very good one, because the idea that I wanted was like that Vox is a little bit of a like morally gray, like I don't really mind as long as like these particular things are met for Vox. I think Vox, if there was an option to bring Serve back, Vox would immediately. I think the cost of what that would take, Vox would take a lot of time to decide. And when it comes down to it, I think it would be a dice roll what side they flipped on, because all of the reasonability that Vox has had was built on the comfort and safety and sameness of what their life was in Hava and the scrapyard. And now that has been so unseated, the lack of that safety net means that Vox can fire off in any direction and justify those decisions, like full like emotional logic as opposed to any reasonable understanding. I'm pretty sure it's not possible, but I mean, we'll see, won't we?
Since you mentioned killing Pastiche, that's actually a very good segue for the question for Tiffany.
Killing Pastiche.
Well, for Liv, is there a list for all the party members most likely to betray Liv?
Oh my goodness.
Who is the least trustworthy there?
Oh, should I be saying these things in front of people? Let me think. Least likely, let's start there, is probably Luce. Luce has too much inner goodness in him to do anything purposeful, I think. And so far, Luce has been like the person who's constantly been like, guys, we should stop doing that. We should just be nice. We should be friends. Things like that. And it's just very clear. So I think Luce is definitely on the bottom. And now for you two.
I feel like I went up. I feel like I've gone up since my last statement.
Have you? Because here's the thing. I actually think that Pastiche is perhaps the second most trustworthy, only because they seem to be very bound by rules. They have very certain ways of doing things and promises and deals that they make. And it's very difficult for you to break these things, which I think the instinct in Pastiche is to, fuck it all, it doesn't matter. But I think that Pastiche truly is bound, whether it's by the actual magic or by their own sense of, I struggle to call it honor, but honor, in following through with something that feels a little bit more trustworthy. Now, I'm so sorry, Fox. But you have gone through an entire gauntlet of terrible events, from Serve dying and then your sister's tickets and then so far you've started off being very like, come on guys, let's get back on track, but slowly you have started giving less shits about everything. You've you have very, very much deciding things that are just like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. What's gonna happen that hasn't happened already? And I think that lends itself to possibly, again, you just answered the question, if you could bring back Serve, would you do it? If it came at a price, if it came at the price of the party, I don't know. I don't know what Vox would choose, you know? If you could have your perfect life with all these, with everything back in place, but like delete the party, I don't know what Vox would choose, honestly. And I would think that Pastiche would not say that. Pastiche would be like, well, surely we can trickety trick this somehow. Surely there's like a loophole that we can get everything that we possibly want. And that seems less of a betrayal than, and Luce is just obviously, no thank you, goodbye, sir. But for Vox, it very much feels split between I have to or I can't. And I think the temptation of I have to sacrifice everybody is there. And you feel willing to maybe even consider it. So that's my list.
Very interesting.
List.
I feel like I sowed some seeds of distrust that might come out in the next recording. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Liv's gonna kill me.
You might do that to yourself, actually.
The dice tell a story.
It's true.
PvP, that's a DM's
call that.
birthday.
Hopping over to Took, can you give any insight into the nightmare Luce had in episode 9?
Please.
Unless it's going to be too spoilery.
Okay. I'm gonna like hit the fine line of it and just say what Luce remembers and not what I know directly what is about. He has a lot of phobias based off of that nightmare. So like oh boy. So his mom was like really irresponsible. But I'm just gonna she was very irresponsible. So like she took him along for like what would be like a level 20 adventure. She took like a level 0 like child with her. So it was like bad. Very bad. But that's where he learned how to heal. But that's also where he got all of his phobias from. That nightmare specifically was the worst one. That was where Carp lost his limb. That was where Luce became very scared of the water and other things that I'm not gonna say just to ride the fine line. That's also the night that he does not remember greatly because trauma. And like it also sets like the relationship between him and his mom, where she's like really protective of him because she went to go fight whatever was in that nightmare thing and left him there alone to witness it. So in his like kid brain, he's like, well, I have to do something. And what you saw in the nightmare was kind of what he did. Which he tried to save, he tried to like heal and stuff, but other than that, it was just horror movie, kill, murder, possible survival. Like it was fucking really bad. So like he relives that like a lot in that episode. That was the first time that Austin voiced it. Which, and by the way, we didn't talk about that beforehand. So the true reaction that you heard in the episode was me going, oh yeah, that fucking happened, because I had forgot that it had happened completely.
I still remember like when I said like it's supposed to have skin, and then like 3 people's jaws just dropped during the recording, and I was like, yeah, okay, I did this right.
It was, and then I will also say, just as a fun tidbit, me and Austin came up with what the monster is. It's
That's it.
like it's.
Well, Jeff, I had a more fun question for you, but I feel like is there any trauma with Pastiche that you want to talk about? I feel like everyone else has something a little bit darker. Any trauma you want to get into real fast?
I mean, personally or for Pastiche?
For Pastiche. I mean, we can do either. I don't know how much time we have, but like,
well,
tell me about your childhood.
Welcome to Roll for Therapy.
Yeah, roll for therapy.
I also have my other regular question I can do.
I'll tell you right now, Pastiche doesn't really have any trauma. That is legit. Pastiche has no trauma. Because whatever Pastiche has done, they are completely okay with.
Oh.
That's so fucked up.
And people are upset that I want to kill Pastiche.
Hey, let me just say,
I will say,
challenge accepted.
Oh.
I will also. Trauma for Pastiche. Do it. Do it. We'll see. But on the thing, Pastiche also just to kind of tell you where their head is with the party. Give them a reason. Give them a reason. And that's it. You guys are friends. You guys are friends right now. But you're only friends until you're not.
Shark eyes. Pastiche shark eyes.
Okay, maybe I should rank Pastiche higher. Wait.
Yeah.
Well, the fun question for Pastiche does kind of fit in there. Let's just say, everything is kind of magically fixed, resolved. Pastiche can go back to the acting troupe. Are they willing to take the rest of the party with them? Back to the Feywilds for that. And what roles would you give them? And do you think they would thrive in that sort of environment?
Do you think the party are theater kids?
Do you?
If they wanted to come, Pastiche would let them come, but Pastiche would not guide them through. They would need to find their own way through. I think that Vox would be okay, because Vox would help with like sets and things like that. Probably not actually get on stage. Luce would help with boo-boos, and Liv.
Yeah, what am I doing?
Probably.
Sure.
Liv would probably end up just doing some of the side attractions, never be on stage. I don't think that any of them would ever be on stage. Like side attractions. Yeah.
Can I give like a little behind the scenes thing here? My first idea when Pastiche and when Jeff and I were talking about doing like a play, my plan was that everybody gets sick except for Pastiche, and then like the players are other characters in the play. And then I gotta realize, none of you guys are playing people that would enjoy being on stage.
Exactly that, yeah.
That's how we got like the play that was performed and everything like that. That's how we got Serve going nuts. So
Luce would have had a panic attack before even the first line. Yeah.
I'm sorry. We couldn't do all the characters on stage, so your next immediate thought was, let's kill Vox's mentor and make it a monster fight?
Yeah.
You know what?
You're a maniac.
Don't blame me anymore.
No. I'm sorry.
That's wild.
I am sorry that you have never jumped. If you have never jumped to that in your GM brain, Rayne, I don't know what's wrong with you.
I'm sorry. And in the DMs, it's like, get it. As the player, it's like, you killed my dad. You made me kill my dad.
Hey, Pastiche helped with
That's
that.
true. That's true. We killed my dad.
Yes, we killed your dad.
And last but not least, for our individual questions, for Austin, our beloved DM here. Why is the collective so creepy? What was the inspiration to portray them that way?
The inspiration, my friend, was real life. Mega corporations are fucking terrible. Capitalism is a disease on humanity, and I need to make them be as terrible and horrible as possible. And some of the ways I was able to find that was just by making them aggressively real. Like, there are a lot of really good things in society based off of the things that the collective has done, but so many of them are also like with like a tinge of malice or other things, and I feel like that is just sort of like very deeply seeped into something that kind of everybody can relate to. And from that, I was just sort of like specifically like the Robert Zorin piece of like, oh, this thing has been like a member of your family. This is something that like you have taken care of and done these things for like so long, but technically we own it and we don't really care about like anything else related to that, so we're going to take that away. It was just very much of like, the world can screw you over, and I needed to make it that in terms of both like realism and fantasy. So I felt like turning like a fantastical regime into like a semi mega corporation was the most logical way to do it.
A Freaky Friday one. So since the show has come out, have there been any fan reactions to any of the moments that have been surprising to you all?
Oh man, mine was I didn't think Luce was gonna be such a soft boy and how everybody was gonna treat him. So, and because I am not, I personally don't think I personally am not like I come off as that at first. So when recently when I've like just happened to meet people like on like a Discord server or like or I'll be in here just chilling and somebody will hop in and say hi or something, they're like shocked that I don't sound like that all the time. Or act like that. So I think that is like my ultimate favorite one. Or in like the comments I've getting like, it's never be like, oh yeah, I just love Luce. Woo woo. Is always, I feel so bad for Luce. That sweet boy. I hope he gets through this. Like, I love how supporting everybody is about it.
I guess I was surprised by how like endeared people are to Serve, since he had the least amount of lines, but I think that might be wise because he was immediately endearing and then immediately murdered. But that like seeing fan art of Serve in the Discord like made my whole day. I'm like, fan art of any kind I'm like absolutely obsessed with, but like seeing a character that I was like, here is the thing, Austin, and hand it off, and then seeing it like exist in the world separately, I don't know, I have a lot of feelings about that.
One of my favorite interactions that we ever had, it was like one of the first episodes that we put out, was when we did like someone in the episode discussion was like, I love Serve so much, they're my favorite, I am gonna love them for the whole show. And then literally like the next episode they died, and we all collectively were just like, hey, we're so sorry about this.
Yeah.
Because that point,
also, I think that was Bosco. And we said, I believe we all talked it up like, yeah, Serve is great. Serve is awesome. And then, sorry, we didn't want to say anything. Tiffany, you got something?
No, I'm trying to think. Hold on.
You don't have to have an answer to everything.
something that that's been happening pretty recently, just that like now that we have enough episodes that people can binge it, is that people are now in the Discord telling us about their binging experience, and that's been so fun because then it's kind of like we're like rewatching the show again with them, and that has been so interesting and so fun. I don't know, I like when people live tweet our show. That's always really nice.
When I brought Pastiche two here, I have played them before in like a very, very small type or like a different game. And so some character or some of the people here know of Pastiche from that game, and they're seeing some of the correlations of like how I played them there here, and they're like, hold on, and like they'll DM me every once in a while, and so that's been really interesting and really fun.
Okay, one thing that I think did surprise me is how much people liked Paya. I don't get it personally, but it was just very surprising.
I'm not the only one.
It's because it's just a possum that sells things, and I didn't expect for Paya to be like seemingly the favorite NPC of Austin's. You know,
Paya's best girl.
I guess.
I will go on record and say that my dislike of Paya is played up. Like, I am okay with Paya actually, but I will always act like I am not.
That's character development right there.
Yes.
Maybe because it's an animal mascot. People like animal mascots. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a fun thing about Tiffany, guys. Is Tiffany doesn't understand animals.
What do you mean don't
Like,
understand?
at
I
all.
know all of. What do you mean understand? I understand
me-
them.
What did you say? What did you say about cats?
Yeah, give me a breed of
They're
cat right
cats.
now
What
that's not a
race
tabby.
is your cat?
Yeah, Tiffany doesn't know cat and dog races.
You know, like breeds, sub races.
Some racist is crazy.
Tiffany
Yeah.
understands the scientific
Sub
definition
race.
of cat and why you would want a pet, maybe.
No, I don't understand why you'd ever want a cat, but but I know animals. Give me an animal.
Wow.
I'll tell you if I know them or not.
Well, we have made it to our final question of stories told again. Thank you all for listening and joining us for this Q&A. Thanks to everyone who submitted questions in our Discord. Again, link for the Discord, that's in the show notes there with all of your other fun little links and information. So, the final question I have for everyone before we head off, without getting into spoilers, can you say in just a few words a moment you're looking forward to the audience hearing?
If I say going to hell, will that be a spoiler, Austin?
You go to hell. You go to hell and you die.
We could say going to hell. That's fine.
Pranks, I will say. Pranks is fun. I think that happens in like an episode or two.
Ooh. You don't deserve death.
Good on ya, Lucerin.
A couple episodes from now, there's a part that made me cry so hard I had to mute my mic during it, and I'm so looking forward to that.
Cue outro music.
Stories Told Again is game mastered and produced by Austin Baki and performed by Tiffany Veprinski as Liv, Took I Guess as Luce, Jeff Berry as Pastiche, and Rayne Eldridge as Vox. Editing by Rayne Eldridge. Scoring and mastering by Tiffany Veprinski. All art for the campaign is created by Beelzebub Hairbinger. A link to their work can be found in the episode description. Lore Keeping by Jess the Cleaver. Website and social media by Chelsea Louis. If you like what we do, be sure to rate us 5 stars and join our Discord. Links to social media can be found in the episode description. Thanks for listening, and welcome to the story.